Hey everyone, this is Sonia Singh. I'm a real estate agent with SaveMax Real Estate, and with me is Raj Puri, who is my husband and a broker here at SaveMax Real Estate. We're really excited to be back, so we want to welcome you back, and I am sure you guys are enjoying these podcasts and getting some great insights. And if you are a first-time seller or you're just brushing up on your knowledge of selling, this podcast is for you. Raj and I are going to go through some tips and strategies when it comes down to listing prep and all the way up to closing. So Raj, let's dive right into it. I think the first things first, we have to talk about staging. And what we know off of staging is like setting that first impression. So when you are going to go out there and do staging, it's very important to understand that when you are staging your house, you're creating a space for the buyer to have imagination. You want to be able to have them walk into your place and picture their life in it. What do you think about that?
Sonia, staging is a very, very important factor when you are planning to sell your property. One of the most important thing in staging is when any buyers come inside the house, they see a wow. There is a wow factor.
Yes.
See, that adds the value.
Right.
So I'm not going to say, staging for every single house, every house is unique.
Right.
So you need a different staging that you should always get the consultation from the professional stagers.
Right.
That's not a realtor's job. We
Right.
don't know about too much about staging.
Right.
Yes, we do have experience by seeing so many houses, but definitely you should consult with the professional stager.
Right.
So who can guide you step by step
Right.
how to prepare your house ready to sell.
Yeah, and I want to add to that. I think just a little bit more information to what staging is. There is, a number of things that I think the seller is going to want to have to do to, create sort of a clear canvas for the buyer as they come in. So one is to declutter, and remember, less is more. You have to depersonalize that. It means taking away some of your family pictures if they're there, making sure your house gets a deep cleaning to make sure they look around and see there's little things that need fixing. It could be like a leaky faucet, it could be loose handles, or even a paint job. We know it seems like big, but once it's done, it pays a lot, and it's going to be a great over long term. If you look at the effort that you put now, minimal cost, but great results.
See, I can share my personal experience
Sure,
in this
yeah.
case. I learned one thing. Most of the cases, when the buyers enter in the house,
Right.
within few minutes, I would say less than 5 minutes,
Oh, yes.
they will decide.
Oh,
You know
yeah.
what? This is the house for me.
Yes, I think maybe even less.
even-
to be
even-
honest,
even
if
that
I
less
walk
is,
in,
yeah.
I could take a good 30 seconds of just entering. I'll get a vibe, whether I want to be here or not.
Yes.
And I think we also want to point out you cannot forget the importance of curbside. When the buyer comes in, even before they get into your house, they're looking at it, the outside, the exterior. So making sure your driveway looks good, there's good landscaping. That creates, I think, first impression even prior to you stepping into the house.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Coming to my point that so when buyer enters,
Yeah.
you want to give that kind of experience. You know what? Yes,
That's
this
right.
is the house I wanted. So you
Absolutely.
have to prepare your property. That's what I said. Hire the professional stagers.
Yeah.
Make sure your staging is done very well. It matches with the all the upgrades,
Right.
the paint, all those kind of stuff. That's a professional stager's job.
And I think if I can, correct me if I'm wrong, I think when the stagers come in, they have different ways they can work with you. One could be, working with your own decor,
Yes.
your own furniture,
Yes.
or they may bring in, their own stuff.
Absolutely.
And it all, like you said, and as we started, that it depends upon situation to situation. Each house is unique.
Yeah.
They go in and see what you have, what your space is like.
Yeah.
And consult with you, work with you, and create a strategy that's going to feature the best parts of your property.
Absolutely.
Right?
So staging is a big factor
Very
when you're
important.
selling the
So
property.
don't underestimate that, guys. It's very, very important. Raj, I think the next thing I wanted to talk about was pricing and the idea that pricing right versus pricing high. I know that, there's sellers out there that, in their mind, they think, okay, let's price the house a high price, and then we'll see. We'll go with that mindset. Well, let's see what happens. What do you have to share, or what's your insight on that?
See, as a professional realtor,
Right,
my job is to give the recommendation. It's seller's property,
right,
end of the day, whatever the decision they are going to make it, will go with their decision. But recommendation point of view, you will never list your property at high price.
right. Because you'd have to look at the market. You have to look at
Yes.
the comparables.
You have to
To
go
sell.
through all the comparables.
Right,
And the most important part is that when you list your property at high price, you're going to lose some serious buyers.
absolutely.
You know,
That's a good
this is
point.
not the only house they are looking.
Right.
They might be looking other properties too. They might say, okay, you know what, let's wait more.
Yeah,
And your property will stay in the market numbers of days longer
and that's
as compared
not
to
good, right?
yes.
That's not good.
I'm not going to say it's not good.
Right.
I will never come to that point. Why you want to list, if you want to sell it, why you want to list high?
Right. You have
Go with the right market price, get the serious buyers, and then you decide
Right.
what price you want to sell it.
Okay, so it's pricing
So the
right.
first recommendation is get the right comparables,
Right.
not one or two.
Right.
See few comparables.
Okay.
Get the professional recommendation. What price should we list the property so we can get an offer on the table?
Okay.
Especially today's market.
Okay.
The market, we have a lot of inventory. Buyer has a lot of choices,
A lot of options. Yes.
a lot of options. I will strongly recommend list at the right market price. So
Absolutely.
you have a lot of activities. There are showings happening in your property. There's a lot of interest in your property.
Okay.
Definitely your property will sell.
I got you. Okay, so now that if you end up at a stage where you've got the house beautifully staged, it's made that first impression, it's beautiful. You've got figured out what is the right price, based on the market right now. Do you want to help me share with the audience what it means when it comes down to the showings, and how they can prepare themselves when it comes down to showing? For a new seller, they need a little bit more information as to what's required off of them.
See, for the showings, the one step we said, house is ready. Now house is presentable. It's ready to show to the buyers. It's just it's a normal process in the market. Is any professional brokerage, they will provide you the full service. They will call you. There is a showing, and as per your schedule, if you give little bit window over there, okay, half an hour to make the house ready, I think that's sufficient. Give the open window.
Okay.
Let the buyer to come to see your property. As many showings you have,
Right.
number of more showings you
The
have,
more the better.
more chances are your property will sell very fast, quick, and at a good price.
Okay. But there is, I think, times when you have sort of short notices for showings, right? So I think you have to be prepared for not just the window you gave possibly, but you can have more and back to back. So it could be a little overwhelming. So you have to be kind of patient and, I think, flexible, right?
Absolutely, it's going to be overwhelming, but keeping in mind you want to sell your house.
Yeah, no, that's
just I understand.
Flexibility has to be
Flexibility is there,
right?
and most important part also one in showings factor, gives the space to the buyer.
Yes, I was going to say that.
Yeah.
I think that the sellers have to leave so that they can have a little
Yes,
bit of privacy.
the first preference is give the space to the buyer. If they can leave the house, that will be really good. The buyer can feel it, like they are planning to buy this house.
Right.
This is my house now.
Right.
So you want to give that.
Yeah, you
feel
don't
to
want to
the
be a
buyer.
distraction.
You don't want to give that distraction. at all.
And I also want to add, I think a great thing out of showings is to also focus on the feedback. So once you get number of showings happening, I think your real estate agent should be following up and getting some sort of feedback. And I think that feedback is great because you are going to sit there and analyze it, and you're going to go through, say, whatever many that you went through, could be 3 to 5 or 10 or whatever. You're going to try and see a pattern. And if you go through a pattern, it's going to possibly give you the answer to what's not making this house sell. Maybe it's going to point out maybe something that needs to be done in around the house, that little
Yeah,
fix
yeah,
that's
absolutely.
going to
Yeah.
get it to where we want
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Right?
Feedback is very important.
Right.
As a realtor, our job is to contact with the uh, buyer realtors who showed the property and try to get a feedback
Right.
and share that feedback with your seller client.
Do you have any experience that you can share? Or
We do. I listed one property in Woodstock, and it's a state sale.
okay.
Property was listed a little bit overpriced,
Oh.
and I was waiting for we got 1, 2, 3 feedbacks similar
Okay.
kind. I requested the seller. I said, you know what, this is the feedback we got it. My recommendation is, I think we should go with the right market price,
Okay.
and we did.
Okay.
And we are receiving offers now.
Okay.
And I'm very confident that
So
property
it
will
helps
sell.
you to kind of figure out the pricing as well as look at if there's something
Yes.
needs to be done
Yes.
to bring it up to.
Yeah, in
that
this case, it
level.
was a pricing.
It's post
Yeah,
pricing.
some of the cases you might say, you know what, maybe house was not presentable, the layout is not as per the buyer's requirement.
Okay.
So always try to get some feedback so we can share with the sellers.
Okay,
Because our seller they want to know.
Right.
They want to know.
Absolutely. Okay, so now with the staging, the pricing comes in. We have a lot of people interested. There's a lot of showings happening. Then we maybe are going to end up in a situation where we have multiple offers. How do you want to guide sellers when it comes down to multiple offers? What are the things they need to focus on? What are the things that they need to keep in mind when it comes down to dealing with multiple offers that come at their table?
See, in that case, if you have more than one offer on the table for the sellers,
Yeah.
my recommendation is always go with the offer has a decent deposit
Okay.
and no conditions.
Okay.
Some like even today's market, you will
Okay.
see few properties are selling
Okay.
with the no conditions. That will be the strong recommendation.
Okay.
And on other cases, if you see you have an offer and has a huge gap of the price, and still there are few conditions, is seller's decision.
Okay.
If he wants to take that kind of risk versus you have no conditions offer,
Right.
but the price is huge difference,
Okay.
let the seller decide that. But your recommendation, okay, you know what, yes, there is no conditions, this house is sold, but yes, there is a huge difference in the price, it's your call.
Right.
I would still recommend, go without any conditions,
Right.
but end of the day is seller's
So
property.
you have to be able to, as an agent,
Yes,
lay it all
yes,
out for them,
yes, yes,
the pricing and
yes,
the conditions,
yes,
and
yes.
really explain to the seller, so they are able to
Absolutely,
make that
absolutely.
wise decision
Absolutely.
to see what
On-
works.
On the other case, if there is a no conditions have a smaller price difference,
Right.
then definitely I will say, you know what, just go with the firm offer.
Oh.
Don't even think about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Wow.
these are the recommendations we will try to give to the seller.
Absolutely.
And as I said, you know what, end of the day, they are the decision makers.
Right. Absolutely.
Especially today's market for the sellers, this is my recommendation, that buyers are looking houses ready to move in. So they don't need to do anything in the property.
Right.
And I might be wrong, but what I'm seeing right now, there are so many first time buyers are in the market.
Absolutely.
So keeping in first time buyers in the market, as a buyer, they don't have any more money left.
Right. Okay.
They already put the whole money
Right. Right. Okay.
buying this property.
Okay.
So to make sure, when you're bringing your property in the market, your property has to be ready to
So
sell.
you have to do your homework.
You
ahead
have to
of
do your
time. Well,
homework,
there you have it, guys. You don't have to be very stressed when it comes down to wanting to sell your property. You just have to have a plan. You have to work with the right agent that's going to be able to guide you. Well, there you have it, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. To wrap this up, we just want to go over the points that we discussed in our podcast today. Number one being staging. You have to stage to impress.
Yeah.
You have to price at the right price, and you have to be prepared for the showing. And of course, look at each offer with clarity so you are able to make a wise decision.
Absolutely.
If you found this podcast informative and you've learned something, do share this podcast and click your like. And if you have any questions, you can DM us, you can reach out to us. We'll be more than happy to answer any of your questions. Again, thank you so much for tuning in, and we look forward to our next podcast session.
Thank you very much, guys.